Hello folks, this is Ketchup Warthog, and today we'll be looking at the flick head-on. This style of head-on is not easy to learn and requires practice and perfection to successfully work. This video isn't a claim that I have perfected it, however, I do hope this will provide some insight as to how the flick works and add this move in your choice of executing head-on. The flick head-on is not official name for this move. The basic move comes from a very commonly used head-on evasion move called snap. This involves pressing rudder, elevator, and aileron at the same time. The flick uses the same principle, but instead of holding the control buttons, you only need to press it for a brief split second. When executed properly, this makes your planes get off to the side and simultaneously allows you to and fire. The aim cursor would then flick itself and snap back onto your target, hence the name I call. Before you try to do the flick in battle, make sure you have sufficiently tested your plane in test flight, as each plane has different flight models and react differently to the flick. The last 5 shown in this video is 3 criteria needed for this move: good speed, decent roll, and most importantly, strong rudder. Other planes such as the BF-109, Spitfires, Yaks, KI-61s, and J2M2 can also perform this maneuver, but others, such as those on the US trees with poor rudder, should not be attempted. Although some US planes can do it at high speed, for example F-6Fs, B-51s, Corsairs, I still would not recommend it. Needless to say, some planes can flick faster than others, at different speeds, so it's up to you to decide when to use it. The steps required are similar to a typical head-on, but I'll emphasize some important steps. I'll be showing footage of me flying with a good friend, Tyler Durden. First, you need speed. A minimum of 350 km per hour is ideal, though I personally prefer to be around 400. The flick is much slower below 300 km per hour and becomes predictable. As you may have experienced yourself in battle, a slow snap roller is a dead snap. Next, you need to dodge. The distance when you break off and dodge is the same as you would do a snap roll. Typically 1.2 to 1.3 km is ideal, although at higher tiers further is better. As mentioned earlier, just briefly press rudder, elevator, and ailerons. Your aim cursor will start to break off and your plane initiates a split-second snap roll. After that, you must let go of all control buttons. This is where the flick kicks in. As you let go of all controls, mouse aim will automatically cause the aiming reticle to come back to your cursor. The enemy would most likely still travel at the same heading, so here's your chance to fire a second time. Lastly, you need to dodge a second time. By now, the enemy will just have his guns pointed at you, but at a significantly closer distance. At times, this will get within less than 500 meters.
Okay.
So it is imperative that you snap roll. The last 2 steps requires a lot of trial and error. Practice over and over again, or ask a fellow friend to be a target practice. Low-tier battles are a nice place to train yourself, as you are less likely to die if you screw up the flick. You also need to know how long you need to hold the control buttons down before letting go. Too short and your plane won't skid far away enough. Too long and your flick becomes really clunky. I'll show some examples as well as slow motion replay to help explain clearer. Notice how I break off at around 1.2 kilometers and slide out of Tyler's cannon rounds. And you can counter whatever move the enemy makes next, flying straight, turn, or even hit him in the snap. Also notice how I duck under and snap roll as Tyler points closer towards me after the flick. Here I agree to fly like a move that doesn't duck. Watch how Tyler skids to the side while his shells knock out my engine, and snap rolls as I attempt a desperate shot on him. And as Tyler says himself,
so it's the combination of the flick and maybe some barrel rolls, or however you call that movement. Snap roll, yeah.
Tyler is the better head-on pilot, so I'll showcase another skill. As a new pilot that didn't dodge, I got what I deserve: a beautiful pilot snipe. One thing you have to be careful is when facing a player who knows what you will do.
Yeah, he hit me. Yeah, he hit me.
Notice how I level out to hit speed, which I will use later. By the time I engage him, I will have more than 400 kilometers per hour. I make sure that I will flick before him, then use that speed for maneuvering to where I predict Tyler will be. As you can see, I managed to get a shot on target. Well, I do hope that you found this video helpful and that you learned something about the flick head-on. As with anything, practice, practice, and practice. You'll get it in no time. In the next video I'm working on, Tyler will be featured again as I try to show some defensive flying, as well as the importance of knowing how to look backwards and fly. I am still trying to improve my video creating skills, but I do understand it is lackluster at the moment. If you have any tips or suggestions, please do tell me how I can improve. And special thanks to Tyler for the custom battle. Hope you learned something new. Until next time, stay safe and good hunting. And yes, my voice is shit.